Brought to you by Pentz Homes and part of the Hitting the Hardwood podcast network. This is Lynx Happy Hour. What is going on, everyone? What up? Welcome back and welcome into another episode of Lynx Happy Hour, the podcast where Lynx basketball is always on special. Bit of strange timing today. So earlier today, I recorded an interview with my friend and colleague Travis Singleton, aka Sneaker Reporter. We recorded a great conversation on the Jordan Heir Series 2 Queen Phees. That is Napheesa Collier's player exclusive with Jordan, her first player exclusive, which are now available for purchase on Nike.com, all the other places you can get sneakers on the internet, and at sneaker shops worldwide. Support your local sneaker shop. Great conversation with Travis. You're going to hear it. I'm going to include it here. After recording with Travis, then going through the day, working on a different article for the 9, doing a couple other things, and then going to dinner at my parents' house. I was gonna, go. I have a cousin in town. Great to see her. Just a good chill night now that the temperature is not 1,000 degrees. Now that the AQI is not 1,000. It's just a great summer night. Hang out, get back early, get the episode posted for everyone to get as much content as possible for one last game before the All-Star break. Then my brother-in-law looks at me from across the room and says, "Have you seen this video from the Lynx?" And I go, "No, what's happening?" And he turns his phone around, and it is, of course, the aforementioned Heir Series 2 Queen Phees being laced up by a faceless, torsoless, just a pair of feet, a basketball player with a pair of feet, and a crown grabbed by a mysterious set of hands, who we can only assume is Phee, with the caption, "Soon." And at that same time, on Twitter.com, a website I'm still trying to avoid at all costs, but this industry makes that difficult. The Lynx are still not posting on Blue Sky. Lynx PR is not posting on Blue Sky, which is disappointing, but hey, the world we live in. The Lynx P status report, which has had Emma Chikova and Napheesa Collier's names in it all year. Napheesa Collier, probable for tomorrow afternoon's game against the Seattle Storm. After this last homestand, after this game in Seattle on Monday night, it would behoove everyone to think, yeah, okay, just get to the All-Star break. We'll see Phee back at home on Tuesday night, July 28th at Target Center. The All-Star break is that nice, natural kind of intermission. Act 1 is over. Come back in front of the home crowd and everything. But no. I mean, probably no. As she is still probable. I'm updating this episode. It's 10:18 p.m. Central Time as I'm speaking right now. And Phee is listed as probable for the Seattle Storm's camp day tomorrow. I do think it's great that the 2026 debut of Queen Phee will take place in front of thousands and thousands of screaming kids. They deserve this. We don't. They deserve this more than any other, season ticket holding member. Shout out to Nate Pentz, the title sponsor of this show, who went out to Seattle for the game on Monday and flew home tonight. Couldn't swing the half week in Seattle for the whole thing. Couldn't swing the camp day and is missing the debut of Napheesa Collier. Nate, I'm so sorry. I'm laughing at your pain, and I apologize for that. But I think laughter is the only appropriate reaction to these events. And I do think this... we're going to dive into all of the reasons why over the next days and weeks. Phee will be in Chicago for All-Star Weekend. She's slated to at least appear. There's an unrivaled activation as part of All-Star Weekend. She's scheduled to appear at that at 5 o'clock on Friday, I think, and I'm gonna plan to be there. She's not talking to general media, certainly not talking to me, not to sell myself short or anything, but I have not secured the All-Star Weekend one-on-one with Napheesa Collier. She's got bigger fish to fry. But it's just interesting. And maybe it does come to the point that it's just, she's ready now. She's fully cleared now. Now's when it makes the most sense. Earlier this year, on one of the practices where, the three people who are, everyone on the Lynx beat's amazing. Many days it tends to be myself, Andrew Dukowitz, my colleague here at Hitting the Hardwood on Zone Coverage, and the great Cassidy Hedesheimer at Star Tribune. And it was Cassidy who asked if, winning all these games does kind of afford you the luxury of being cautious and being patient, right? And Cheryl shut that down real quick. Said absolutely not. The record doesn't affect how they handle these. And I do think that's right. The record's not going to say, oh, we can go about this rehab a different way than we would have. That's not what's going to happen. But you can just feel a whole lot better about yourself stacking all these wins. Wins at home. Phee out there doing the electric slide so that everyone can analyze her dance moves and see how well the ankle is moving. Both ankles are moving. I don't think the fact that Cheryl has been very disappointed in the way the defense has been playing, and not just Cheryl, the numbers speak for themselves. You don't even have to go to advanced stats. Points for and points against. The most basic stat we have. How many points do you score? How many points do you allow? They're allowing too many points. You didn't need me to tell you that. You can read a box score. And I think there was maybe a little bit of, okay, sure, but they'll get feedback at some point. We've got Defensive Player of the Year, perennial MVP runner-up coming back. I would drop the thought that Cheryl's so disgusted about the defense she's bringing Phee back early. I think given what Phee went through, and I might slide into the DMs of my pal and colleague Lucas Seehofer right away, because I'm interested in a player coming back from injury. You obviously don't want to do too much too soon or push him too hard. It could be advantageous to play a game on a Wednesday afternoon, knowing that you don't have another game until the following Tuesday. But then again, also, today might have been the first day that longtime trainer Chuck Barta, one of the best in the business, said, everything looks great. Go for it. She can play. All of those things could be true. I wouldn't spend too much time trying to read any tea leaves about it. She's probable. She's probably going to play. We will ask during the pregame any kind of minutes restriction, and I'm sure Cheryl will tell us possibly. And make that as vague as possible. So we'll see. And as I said on Andrew's show, The Missing Links with him and Nicole Jackson last night, It would just be so typical if they win this game 50-45. I don't think that's going to be the score. But Phee comes back. Maybe the defense has its first good game in a couple of weeks. Who knows? But I do think there are all kinds of reasons for why it would be now. This isn't what I predicted. Once we got to about July 12th-ish or so, I was like, it's just going to be after All-Star. That's what they're going to do. Which goes against my intuition, because you can't really predict what a team like this is going to do, where they're not going to give away any secrets at the poker table. And they do things the way they do things, and they're one of the best in the business anywhere at doing it. So we're going to catch a break right here, and then I am going to play a couple of clips from our conversation with Phee on Saturday, this past Saturday, shoot-around, because I do think she kind of said some interesting things, and I think listening to it now with the context of her being probable is helpful. And then after that, I will you'll hear from myself and my friend Travis Singleton on the Air Series 2 Queen Phees. Phee heavy episode. We spoke it into existence. Whatever. Keep it here. Lynx Happy Hour. Other side of the break. Stick around. This episode of Lynx Happy Hour is brought to you by Pentz Homes. The team at Pentz Homes has experience working with first-time home buyers, folks selling their first home and buying their next place, to people looking to downsize. With the best tools, technology, and trusted vendors to help with any home project, Pentz Homes is a top choice for buyers and sellers. For more info and to set up a time to meet with Nate and the team to talk about your home buying or selling needs, visit pentzhomes.com. That is Pentz, PentzHomes.com.
Hey, Phee. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. These shoes look nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're dope.
Thank you.
First question is just how the shoes, the process of the player exclusive came to be, and just how are they to play, and how many times have you gotten to get out and run in them?
Yeah, I've been using them for probably like 2 weeks now. They feel really great. I love this this line, the Air Series 2, so it's fun to have my first PE with Jordan. So I'm super happy with them.
How involved are you in the process of that? Are they sending you different details to include and getting your opinion on them? Just kind of how. Yeah.
So it's my idea. So what I wanted it to be around. So this one was around Lynx, the Lynx colors, and my family background, it's the same colors as the Sierra Leonean flag. So whatever's personal to you, and then they draft ideas. You make tweaks, what you like, what you don't like, and then it's really collaborative.
Is it safe to say that Mila's name on the inside tongue is the favorite detail?
Of course, yes. I have to put her everywhere that I go.
For sure.
How long does that whole process take from start to finish?
It depends. When they want to launch, it could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be less. They do their campaigns, and they it's kind of a them thing. So based on when they want to launch it.
You guys get to honor Still today, and you guys got to play against her earlier this year. I mean, how much does that mean to you to get to see her, one of your vets now in a coaching role?
It means a lot. I mean, Sil was the first person to embrace me when I came to Minnesota. She's the kind of person that everyone knows her for the kind of person she is and not the player, which says a lot because obviously she's a Hall of Fame player. That's why we're recognizing her tonight. So to have someone like her be my vet, I just feel really lucky. And so, of course, I want to celebrate her as much as possible. So to have her here tonight, to be able to do that, it's really special.
What do you think she taught you about now, in your role when you have rookies like Liv and other, players come in, about welcoming them, into the league and into the team?
I think just the importance of it, of making people feel welcome and cared for, because it's hard to come into the league. You're surrounded by people who have been here for years, people you might have looked up to, and so to have someone like your vet take you under their wing and make you feel at home, it's everything.
Nights like these are obviously a really big part of Lynx culture, and making sure legends come back and are honored properly.
I think this is the first one where they're here and also trying to beat you guys. How fun of a wrinkle does that add that, you know, you guys go through an actual, you know, competition that counts in the standings and then have the post-game ceremony right after that?
Yeah. I mean, I hate it for Sil, but I hope we ruin her night. I want us to win.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be fun. I think it's all love, of course. Like, when we're stepping between the lines, you're competitors and you want your team to win. But, you know, as soon as that's over, she's been here for how many years? She's such a huge part of the identity of the Lynx. And so no matter the outcome of the game, I think everyone's going to be happy to celebrate after.
We're going to talk to you. Go for it, son.
From your perspective, seeing this run that K-Mac is on right now and how much she's scoring and also with all her other responsibilities and just seeing what she's putting on display.
It's really fun. I think Mac has really embraced the responsibility of that, of knowing that she needs to be one of the top scorers on the team. So to see her being so aggressive, hitting those threes, it's really fun. And so I'm just really proud of her. She's been taking this role really, really well. Obviously, she's a leader on our team, and she's really embracing that right now.
You and BC came in together. We haven't really talked to you since the free agency side of this. Just, I guess, what's it been like not having her around for you? And then also just how happy are you that she's getting paid in Portland?
Yeah, it's bittersweet because obviously I miss BC. She's one of my really good friends. And on the court as well, like what she brings to the table, her shooting ability, her defense, just everything. She's a vet as well. But I am really happy for her to be able to be a franchise player in Portland, to get paid. She's excelling there, like blossoming. I can see how much her game has already grown this year and what she's doing. So I'm also just really happy for her.
Cheryl has called you Queen FOMO a couple times this year. Just like, how hard has it been through this injury to just not be on the court?
It's really hard. Of course, I want to be out there with my teammates. Like, you never want to be on the sideline, so I'm just itching to get back out there with them. So I feel like that statement's probably accurate, that nickname.
No fights with doctors or therapists trying to get out there yet?
I mean, it's a daily fight.
Do you think being on the side, there's anything you've learned from having a kind of different perspective?
About the game?
Yeah, about the game or the team.
I think just our resilience. Like, when you're in it, you know that you have to do whatever it takes. Like, you just chug along, you do what you have to do. But seeing it from the sideline, you just appreciate it a lot more because you see how deep down that they have to dig to win these games, like the effort and resilience and hard work, like mental toughness that it takes to do that. And so it just gives me a greater appreciation for the team.
Is it comparable at all to that 2022 season, or kind of different in that it's a different injury, or not injury, but like different reason for, you know, being sidelined and kind of different timeline coming back?
I mean, I think it's a lot different. Coming back from pregnancy is way harder. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this was hard in a different way. Like, double ankle surgery is no joke either. But yeah, I don't know. I think it feels different. Also, I don't have a baby at the end of this. Like, I was injured at least for like a good reason on the other one. So.
How much of your discomfort level of being on the court on the ankle has grown over the last couple weeks since you returned to practice?
It's grown a lot. I think, you know, you do your rehab and you get your body strong, but there's nothing like in game to get that rust off and to get that last like hesitation or whatever it is out of your system. And so I definitely feel like I've gotten a lot more comfortable over the last few weeks. I feel better each week, the explosion, the power, the quickness, all those things. It's just a process, and so it's kind of good to see where you started, where I started those couple weeks ago, and where I am now.
A lot of people look up to you, and a lot of people also go through injuries that sideline them for a while. Like, what would you say to like young girls, young people that look up to you about going through an injury like this?
I would say to just embrace it. Like, I think everything happens for a reason, and so whatever it is, like, this is the journey of my life, and so I can't control that I was injured, but I can control my mindset now. Like, if I'm crushing my rehab, I'm doing everything I can to get back. If I'm a good teammate, supporting my team while I'm out, making the most of it, because there's going to be things that happen in life that you can't control, but you can control your reaction to things and, you know, your outlook on it. So I would say to just shift inwards instead of outwards to the things that might happen.
We got to talk to you a couple days before Cheryl ended up breaking the record, but how fun was it to be in that locker room when she finally got win number 380 and just to be able to create that atmosphere for her and celebrate it with her as a team?
It was really fun. I mean, Cheryl is obviously very impressive. Like, what she's been able to do in this league is amazing. And I just love the way that we celebrate people here. Like, every win is huge. This is a really huge one. But the way that we celebrate even the little wins, like, it just makes me really proud to be here. And so being able to celebrate Cheryl, which I know she doesn't like, but this is something she deserves and it should be celebrated. So to do that was really fun.
Were you the one who handed her the Smirnoff Ice?
No, but I made her get down on one knee.
Surprised that she has those type of dance moves in her?
I've seen her bust a move a couple times. You guys saw it at All-Star last year on the stream. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Phee. Appreciate
it, Phee. Thank you.
Another very exciting day here at Lynx Happy Hour. Joined once again by my friend, my colleague, and the person I call whenever there is any kind of shoe news, WNBA, NBA, any league, anywhere. It's Mr. Travis Singleton, aka Sneaker Reporter at Sneaker Reporter across channels. Travis, it is late July, which seems crazy. How are you? How is your summer going? And thanks for joining me once again today, my friend.
No problem. Thanks, Terry. Anytime you call, I'm always gonna be there. Summer's been amazing. Besides the Lynx news and stuff like that, waiting to see what LeBron's doing. So like everybody else. But definitely appreciate you for having me on. And it's been a pretty good summer, man. Just watching the Lynx and covering them and just seeing this team evolve, man. You know, just as anybody else, so definitely appreciate you for having me on, man.
Of course. Yeah, it's been definitely a very fun season to cover. And it's kind of got that feel now where 6-game winning streak and no one's really happy about it. Everyone's, talking, well, what about the defense? And what about Cheryl said that, it has sort of that air of turning into, a championship or bust kind of season, which is always exciting and quite stressful for the fan base. I think one more game tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time. I think everyone needs a break. I think everyone needs a party.
Yeah.
And All-Star Weekend will be a party. Court and T will make sure of that. And hopefully all of the Lynx who are not All-Stars are just, going in like Rudy's cryo chamber or something and and chilling. I think it was after the last game someone asked Coach because it was the last home game before the All-Star break, kind of your last in-person availability. Asked Coach about what she wants people to focus on over this time off, and she said nothing. I don't want people to focus on it. I want people
exactly
focus on getting your legs back. Focus on chilling, which the only time I can ever really relate. I'm like, yeah, that's something I do.
For sure.
Very excited.
One quick thing though.
Ahead.
Are you making an appearance on the 72-hour cast?
I have not been invited to, but I will be. I imagine there will be a time where they are both doing media availability, and they'll be streaming that. So we'll see.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. So like the day, I think it's Friday during the day. There's the practice that you can watch. That's open to the media. What a concept. And there's sort of like the media circuit and the media pods where they're kind of just all in a room and like they kind of all have their own podium. I assume that's how they'll be doing it. So I'm there to cover the Lynx, so I will find Court at that, and who knows. But yeah, I'm probably the 10,000th, even less than that. There'll be more interesting people appearing on the stream, but I'll say what up. Turn to the Twitch Friday afternoon if you're interested in the All-Star Media Day portion of the stream. I think it gets a little bit more exciting after the sun goes down at the parts that we're not allowed to be at. But so we'll see. I'll try to be camera ready at all times, just in case.
Got to be camera ready,
right? Other exciting news. I'm not reporting anything factual here. I'm just speculating. But I believe Napheesa Collier will be back after the All-Star break. That is my hunch. That is my feeling. That is just kind of what I think is going to happen. If you go to some fucking like Kelshi or something and throw money on it and it doesn't come to pass, it's not my fault. Be an adult. But that's what I think is going to happen. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think the original timing, especially for a brand named Jordan that a few people have heard of, I think they were hoping for her return to sync up perfectly with the release of Fee's first player exclusive with the Jordan Heir Series 2's, the Queen Phees. And these dropped I believe last Wednesday. Definitely last Wednesday.
They
And
did.
they're
You're a
they're
sneaker
they're
reporter
fire.
too, man. You're a sneaker reporter too, man.
I have to be like, I don't know. Yeah, these came out Wednesday noon. Yeah, price at exactly $115 retail. Yeah.
There we go.
But so anyway, new shoes come out, especially related to the Lynx. I have to have Travis
Yeah.
on. That's the step one. Real quick, I had you on the second it was announced that Phee was becoming an official Jordan brand athlete, maybe a little over a year ago. That
Yeah.
was announced, and I'm getting excited. Like, okay, when are we gonna get the Fees, like the first signature shoe? Please explain to the uninitiated what is the difference between a player exclusive and a signature shoe, because they are not the same.
Yeah. They're not the same. Player exclusive is you're getting your own spin on, like, your own creativity on a silhouette that's already out, like a sneaker that's already out, and you just personalize it. You know, it's the same thing with like colleges. That's the best example to give. When different colleges like UConn and Duke and North Carolina, they all get their own player exclusives, so they're only strictly for them. So when it comes to a player exclusive, like how Phee has, she was able to personalize it the way that she wanted it, and was able to put her own spin on it, put Queen Phee, and even put Mila on there, different things like that. That makes sense for her. Now, when it comes to a signature shoe, that means you've been in the lab with Jordan Brand pretty much and was like, hey, this is how my foot feels. This is what, I like about this shoe. I want my shoe to be this way. I want to have more cushion at the bottom, at the heel. You get to create the whole thing from a process like of elimination pretty much. So basically, you're going from with a player exclusive, they already have a shoe that's made, and then you put your own imprint on it, to a signature shoe, you're making it from scratch. And then everybody's like, man, I need to, I want to see the different colorways now. I want to see the different whatever's coming out now. Sort of like what's basically Sabrina, Asia, all of them, even Caitlin Clark now,
Right.
with the Clark ones and stuff. So I think Jordan Brand is gonna be on pace, I believe, for next year for having, Fee's signature line ready. From some of the people I talked to. So it's just more so what she does in free agency. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I'm assuming that all of the colorways that are going to come out around that time will be for whatever that team is. Obviously, we want it to be the Lynx, but I think that would be super cool. And I thought it was super dope of her to even have a player exclusive like Lynx based too, because like, a lot of times people go to college route. They're like, oh, I want to pay tribute to my college, my high school. But she's like, no, I want to pay tribute to the Lynx, the team that I'm playing for, and the team that's been dominant for a long time. So I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, you would have laughed because obviously I knew those details on the difference between player exclusive and signature, but I've seen the Air Series before. I've never actually worn the Air Series or seen them in person, not on a Lynx player. So I was staring at every single before we talked to Phee at Shootaround on Saturday, I believe that was, and I knew we were going to talk to Phee about the shoes. Had to be prepared. I was staring at the logo on the tongue, being like, "How is that Fee's logo?" I'm like, "What is it?" It's kind of interconnecting lines that form in H, and then after about 20 minutes I was like, oh, that's the Air Series logo.
Yeah.
HEIR. So I was like, okay, thank God I know, like, and then like we're talking to Phee 10 minutes later, so I was like, I'm so happy we made this realization now and not, so what's with this logo on the tongue.
Correct.
So everything else is Phee. She talked about like it helped that both the Lynx and the flag of Sierra Leone, where her family ancestry is from, are basically the same colors. They're in the inner tongue has Queen Phee stitched into it. The other one has Mila, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's a great PE. And then also I think you in the last time you were on this podcast also set the expectation for timeline of signature shoes that it kind of takes a while. Like I think
Yeah.
with Caitlin's in year 3, but it's been, I think it was right. She had to have been drafted first. I don't know when the plans for the Caitlin one started. I think that was probably around 2 calendar years ago. So
Correct.
we're next year would be about that time for Phee. So I hope
Yep.
a signature Phee Jordan is on their schedule for sometime in 2027.
Yeah.
That would be dope. But that
Yeah.
also, I think,
That's the timeline for sure.
right.
But
So
I really want to see Phee kind of get back, like getting her Maya Moore bag, and ask Jordan if she can wear some of like the Jordan 11s, the Jordan 12s, like,
mhm.
and have those PEs. Those are the PEs that everybody loves and remembers. So like here too, like they're gonna be like, oh, cool. But I mean, when you have a Jordan 11 or a Jordan 10 or a Jordan 1, that's like
if
your own player exclusive. That's pretty cool.
if there are if there's a Phee Jordan 1, that's I'll risk any lapse in professionalism. I'm getting those right away.
Hey, he's like, if I gotta ask
Yeah.
Phee myself, it's
I'll
going
ask.
down.
Yeah, I will ask Phee. Like, yeah, no. Sometimes we'll do that, like, kind of in jest, but I'll be like, Phee, size 11. Come on,
Gotta make it happen.
been on the beat for 4 years now. Like, come on, just work.
Let's make it happen.
And I'll pay for him too. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that would be an incredible PE. So that's what I want.
That's what I want them to do, though. I want them to get, because I mean, some of the Jordan brand players, like, especially the men like Blake Griffin, the Chris Pauls, all those guys, they got like different Jordan silhouettes that Jordan actually wore on the court in their own colorway and personalized it themselves. So that's kind of what I want for Phee as well, because Maya Moore had that. I remember Maya Moore's Jordan 11 that was made at, it was a Lynx PE, and it had the championship ring inside the tongue. Like, I thought that was crazy to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that, I would love to see Phee, bring Jordan brand back like that as well.
Right. She did say, I think when she first this got announced, there was kind of there was a story with it where, or just kind of a Q&A with Phee, and I think she said low top, the one lows are her favorite Jordans, which are also mine, but that's no one's hooping in one
lows.
lows.
Nah.
Yeah, lows in general, but I mean also not hooping in a ton of the type of retros that they make available. You should not try to play that, especially 3's. One time I was just in 3's and a pickup game kind of broke out, and I was like, all right, like I didn't have shoes with me. It was just friends messing around, and my feet hurt for like months after that. So that is a decorative shoe. Jordan was playing in a different kind of shoe that just kind of that looked like that.
Exactly.
But I'd be interested. I know, and she was wearing Tatum's, I think, a bit last year.
Yeah, she did.
And she wore a lot of Air Series as well. But because they can get, like, I would wonder, like, what's like Fuse maybe a little just too young to like watch him play in the 11s or in the 12s. And also, I know Phee loved to play basketball. I don't think she was watching a ton as a kid. She's
she's a hooper. So that's
and then
different.
she was when I wasn't playing, I was like reading and doing other interesting things. I wasn't watching highlights. But so yeah, I would be interested if I would want to know like Fee's like top 10 Jordans ever.
We'll have to ask her.
Yeah, at some point. But yeah, so just what is your kind of your overall takeaway on these? I'm on Nike's website right now looking at all of the different shots of it. We kind of mentioned the colorway, and just a couple of the details, but just overall, is this a 10 out of 10 PE for you?
I think I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, I always want something that pops too. Like,
Yeah.
whenever I'm looking at a shoe, like I want something, and this is my personal preference. It could be a 10 out of 10 to some of the Lynx fans. I would I would like some little lime green or something like that made it like kind of pop and stand out. That's something
Hmm.
like that. Like would have made it a 10 for me. I think it's definitely like a 9 in my books. I like the Lynx colors. Obviously, I like the personal touch that she put to it. But me, I'm just like, the person I am, I'm kind of flashy. So like, I want a little bit of razzle dazzle with
Right.
something like that. But I still bought them. I'm still gonna support her. And yeah, I think it's a great buy. It wasn't one of those where it was like I bought it and I was just like, yeah, these are gonna sit. No, you're gonna catch me at a Lynx game with them on. It just is what
Oh
it
yeah,
is. I'm gonna make it happen.
for sure. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's like because it's mostly blue, and then that green. It's a suggestion of green, kind of
Correct.
on the toe.
Yeah.
I think it worked. Yeah, if that was brighter, there'd be. I think there's a way where they could have made that too bright pretty easily. But yeah, if the green was more, um, if it was a
I
little
just
bit
like
more
that
visibly
pop.
green, yeah, that lynx green, or if like
Yeah.
the jump man on the back was more lynx green.
Exactly,
But yeah, it's
exactly.
like
So little
yeah,
hints that
it's like
could have made it a 10.
it's like seafoam.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's very classy. Um, Obviously looks cool. It kind of, and this might be heresy to suggest this because it's it's a cross brand comparison, but shades of the Ant-Man ones a little bit, not entirely, but just kind of how that bottom is
yeah,
mostly blue with the black kind of top panels. Like it kind of
yeah.
these would complement the AE ones a little bit.
No, they would. I mean, I think you can still wear a Timberwolves jersey with the fees. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like you can get away with it. So I think it does reminisce it a little bit on the bottom. So I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I said, I feel like Jordan Brand, if they would have gave her a little bit of
Mhm.
pop, because honestly, Fee has gotten out of her shell. Sports Illustrated, I mean, different things like that. Like she's
Mm.
popping now. Like so
Yeah.
kind of put like a bright color in there to kind of showcase her kind of getting out that shell. Like now she's talking trash. She's doing different. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like when I first came in the league, I thought Fee was the most quiet player ever. It just was like, all right, I'm gonna be quiet and just hoop. And then
Hmm.
over the years, when I see her play Alyssa Thomas, I'm like, all right, never mind. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, she's talking.
Yeah.
So, it's just small stuff like that, small hints of little, colors that stand out that make it pop. Where it's like, rah, like I'm still here, like.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, man, I'm excited to see what she does with her next PE,
Hmm.
and continue it going, because my thing is once she had player exclusives when she wore KDs all the time. So it's like, all right, so what are you gonna do with the Jordan? Are you gonna keep the P's going now? Like, are they gonna keep
Yeah.
rolling out, or is it gonna be one and done, or is it gonna be, hey, we're working on a signature shoe right now, so this is what we're focused on.
Yeah. That's something too.
Yep.
And then if it's all air, I think it should be one like a PE to play in, which these are. She's been playing in these for the last few weeks. She
Yeah.
obviously if I'm pretty sure she got the first pair available.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah, for
maybe a
sure.
few execs at Jordan Brand who got them first, but in terms of
Yeah.
players, I would be mad if someone else got them on their foot first.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been playing in them. Um, so hope the ankles can stay healthy in them.
Yeah.
Um, and she said they feel great, getting used to them. So I think the next PE should be like a Jordan that that's like just lifestyle. That's like the one lows. Like
Correct. Correct.
give me a pair of low top ones that
Yeah.
I can just rock with. I don't know if this is so on the and this I know this would be a great time to make this a video podcast as well. Uh but it's not. The tongues, so it says Mila on one, and then there's a script, Queen Phee on the right shoe has Queen Phee on the inner tongue with a crown over the 2's in Phee.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that is going to be her official logo. What I don't want to see because she gets a signature shoe, she's gonna have her own Jordan brand logo.
Correct.
And that's more of a script. The crown is, it's just a crown, and I think with her nickname being Phee and Queen Phee, I don't think it would just be like her initials, because that's my biggest pet peeve in this industry
Yeah.
is how every player's logo is just kind of the initials in some kind of interchanging way. And for the people
Correct.
who are monitoring everyone who hates on Caitlin Clark, that's not a Caitlin Clark thing. I don't like that logo, but I also don't like any just interchanging initials,
Yeah.
especially with a company. And I know Nike and Jordan like a little bit different, but with Jordan's logo being the Jumpman silhouette,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, after that everyone just gets
Their
their own thing.
initials.
That's why I kind of like ants for Adidas. I kind of like it. I'm not getting any kind of Jordan giveaway or sponsorship at all, because I keep shouting out Adidas on the show. And another one too, I like D Rose's logo too, with like, it's because last name being Rose, it's
Yeah.
some initial with the D, but like interchange in the like web of a rose. I thought was creative.
Yeah.
But if it's
That
just
was definitely creative.
if it's some kind of NC, I'm just kind of like, what are we doing? So I hope that the
Hopefully they do
logo,
something with the crown, like you said.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you though. I mean, same thing, JT, like like Jason Tatum. But one thing that gives me hope with Jason Tatum, if he follows in the steps of Jason Tatum's line, Jason Tatum had a Boston Garden Jordan 1 low pack that came out
oh,
last
okay, yeah,
year. You know what I'm saying? So like it was a home and away version, and they were Jordan lows. Those are sick. So hopefully, Fee kind of follows in those footsteps where she gets a Jordan low pack where it's like, the Skyways or something, or you never know, like what I'm
yeah.
saying. But
What
I think
what's
that would be super cool.
what's really cool is, or what has all kinds of potential, is Maya still being a Jordan brand athlete
Correct.
in
Oh yeah,
retirement.
correct. Correct.
There could be Yukon Lynx, Jefferson City connections,
There's a lot of
those
stuff there if
possibilities are
they.
endless.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the first of many. Okay, that officially a 9 out of 10 on the Sneaker Reporter score. I think
Yeah.
that's fair.
Is
Because
that fair?
I mean, there aren't many shoes that are really tens, like 10 out of 10. Like you're telling
Yeah.
me, like that's perfect. So I think 9 out of 10, very very fair.
Yeah.
I think Fee will be happy with that for the
Okay.
first one. If she's not, she'll let
Yeah.
us know. Uh,
Okay.
she's not listening. But so yeah,
Nah,
I'd
Fee
say
listens, man. Fee listens to you. Come on, Terry.
definitely not. I appreciate that though. Um,
Yeah.
so if you go to just I know there's lots of places for people to get shoes. I'm just just a standard, and go off of the website, the company's website myself.
Yeah.
But if you got connections, most sizes are available just on Nike.com as we're recording this, and I'm going to push this episode out later today. So July 21st or morning of the 22nd is when you're probably listening to this. Lots of kid sizes too. So yeah, you can get a pair of the Queen Fees for the whole family.
Yep.
At the reasonable the reasonable retail price of $115. Comparatively, that's a
That's a good price point.
yeah, it's a good price point
That's
for
a good
sure.
price point.
All right, should we talk about last night's game a little bit?
We
I
can
was I
definitely
was on
talk
it.
about the
I was
beat.
on
Hey.
Andrew's
Hey.
post game pod last night at we recorded until like 1 a.m. local time. So
Yeah.
you can go check out the missing links. But yes, so as I mentioned, 6-game winning streak. No one's happy about
Yeah.
it.
Nah.
It's tough. So last night post game too, we're on the Zoom, and I texted um not Olivia Miles, Olivia with Lynx PR, just to get like a feel for it. Like, hey, is there any in-person media? Because there has been more in-person media kind of on the road this year than there has been
There has been. Yeah, there
back.
definitely has been.
And also, there is a new league media policy that has lots of good stuff in it. One of the things that's also part of it is um, teams have, it's not a rule, but there's kind of a suggestion to prioritize in-person media, which is something I'm fine with. Reward people
Yeah, me
who are
too.
there in person. But so I texted Olivia, it's like, hey, is there any in-person media? And she said no. And so it's just Travis, you were on the Zoom. Cassie was the Star
Yeah.
Tribune is on the Zoom. Andrew's on the Zoom. Our friend Mike Cook from Pioneer Press I saw on there. But so I think just because I was texting Olivia, like right after I texted that too, like Cheryl sat down, and I'm like, it's kind of, like the teacher thing where it's just like a compliment sandwich. I'm going to ask a positive question, then maybe a negative
Correct.
question, and then finish it with another positive question.
Correct.
So,
And I heard that too. You did.
I mean, for the second Monday in a row, 65 plus points between Olivia Miles and K-Mac. Like, let's talk about that. And she was just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No, for
we
sure.
can't give up 102 points, which is fair.
Yeah.
And Andrew just shared, the net rating in July is, middle of the pack. It's not where the Lynx want to be. How concerned are you? We'll start with the negative on this. How concerned are you with the defense as this team has won 6 straight?
The crazy thing is I'm not worried at all. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm really not worried.
Right.
I'm not because you got to think about it. Who's coming back?
Napheesa Collier, with a new player exclusive too.
Defensive player that what are we talking about? So I'm not worried at all. You're plugging in a defensive player and somebody that's an MVP type caliber player. So after All-Star break, she's gonna help with some of those mistakes. She communicates the different things that they're missing right now defensively. She's gonna help with that. So I'm not worried at all. I think right now, obviously, like Andrew said, they're in the middle of the pack right now, but I think defensively they'll be right where they need to be, and they're gonna offensively surge even more. So I'm really not worried about the defense. Obviously, it comes down to communication, being disciplined, right? I feel like they do take a lot of risk, especially Courtney and Olivia. They definitely do, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when it doesn't work, that's what's hurting them right now. And that's on this little 6-game winning streak. So I truly believe once Phee comes back, defensively, she's an anchor defensively, and from block shots to rebounding, she's gonna help in so many different ways that I don't really think that there's a panic button for right now. And I truly believe that some of these teams are just catching them with some all-star fatigue, where they're like, all right, let's just get into the all-star break. We know Fee's coming back. So let's just coast not coast, but like let's do what we got to do until we get her back. And I think that's where they're at. But I think offensively, I mean, they're special right now. Both on the offensive side, they're playing amazing. K-Mac's been out of this world. You know what I'm saying? But defensively, like I said, I think those things they'll tone down once Phee gets back into the lineup and once she gets her feet wet and gets back into the rhythm, and I think they'll be okay.
Right. And it's not just Phee coming back and being herself, which obviously will be super helpful. And it's also not just, all right, now the bench, pretty much, Cheryl's not going to tell us what she's going to do, but Fee's going to start.
Yeah.
Nia Coffey is going to come off the bench.
Correct.
And still, Nia Coffey is going to continue to be a very important part of this team. But just with that and the way in which Cheryl can stagger lineups, like everyone's has a smaller lift, just because it's not like they've had Phee in an injured reserve situation. They got to get rid of somebody. Like the rotation is missing a player, like a full player. Correct. So you can put any type of playable player in there, and it's gonna elevate it when it happens to be the back-to-back runner-up for MVP and a former defensive player of the year. You're spoiled a little bit. I think the biggest difference it will make is because K-Mac's ask on defense right now is just so high, and
it is a lot.
Earlier in the season, Cheryl had said something like the K-Mac is the most excited. Everyone's excited for Phee to come back. K-Mac's the most excited. Just because, I mean, there'll be so many different lineups where, K-Mac's playing the 2. She's pretty much only playing the 2 now when either Court or Liv are off the floor. And even still, there's not too many players you can trust on guarding the opposing team's best player. And Phee can do that against anyone. I mean, I'd say if against Dallas or against Indy, you're having someone. You're not having fee guard Paige. You're not having fee guard Caitlin. But when you
Yeah.
play other teams, it's like V can be like, all right, like Mac, you don't have to take the biggest scoring threat. You don't have to
Yeah.
take the person who's going to try and run you ragged on the defensive end. And so, like what you mentioned about K Mac, it's incredible that she's doing this while also focused as she is on the defensive end, which was
Yeah.
99th percentile defense up until very recently.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think just getting to the All-Star break in general would be helpful. Getting to the All-Star break and adding Napheesa Collier after that is that's like a cheat code. Like you get
Yeah.
somewhere and like you got some. I haven't played 2K in years, but you get to some point in the season and then it's like, okay, you just get to add this because you paid for whatever expansion pack. Like it shouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be real, but that's what they got right now. Um, I'm not trying to say that the defense has actually been cut. No, it's been bad in these last games, but
Definitely.
it's mid-July. Better to have this now than in September.
Correct. And like you said, it helps. Like, you're bringing back a former defensive player of the year. I mean, they'll be fine. The offense is gonna always be the offense, like no matter what. But I think it's the turnovers. They just got to cut down the turnovers, and then they got to also make sure defensively they're more disciplined defensively. And once they do that, we'll be back to seeing Lynx basketball that Cheryl loves.
Yeah, holding teams to like 65 routinely.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
well, that's what I got for today. I don't want to take up too much of your time, Travis. I know you got a lot of sneaker reporter things to get to, but just it's the first time you've been on the podcast during this season.
Yeah.
Give me 2 minutes on Olivia Miles, just from your perspective, and just how much you've been enjoying watching her play this year.
Man, I said it maybe game 2. Game 1, I was like, okay, she's rookie of the year. Game 2, I'm looking at her and I'm like, she's not moving like a rookie. So I don't know if it's ever happened. It probably won't happen, but she needs to be in the MVP conversation.
Candace Parker was MVP as a rookie. The only time.
See, so Olivia needs to be in the MVP discussion. And because you take her off this Lynx team, you'll see how valuable she is.
Yeah.
And
those 2 games without her were tough.
They were rough. They were rough. So I just love what I'm seeing from her. She's getting everybody involved. She has a true joy for the game, true student of the game. She said she watched Steve Nash and those guys, like, so it's been a pleasure and an honor to like just watch what she's doing. Extremely smart. She got that Kyrie Irving type of swagger with her. You know what I'm saying? Where she's just like on the court, just like making art. Like it just looks like effortless. So definitely love what I'm seeing from her. And the crazy thing is, like, she's just scratching the surface. She's not even in her prime yet. She's still, just playing with wet behind the ears right now. So just seeing how she elevates her teammates all the time, bigging up her vets. Like, hey, I appreciate my vets. I can't wait to see what she's gonna be unlocking a lot more stuff for Phee now in that pick and roll. I'm excited for that. She's already made Natasha Howard an all-star. So I mean, she's done what she's supposed to do. So the sky's the limit. And I just want to know where those Lynx fans are that wanted bets. Because at the end of the day, Miles she's doing her thing, and she's becoming her own little phenom too. People are wearing the goggles, people are wearing the afro, around the arena, even around Minnesota. So, some of the stuff that she's doing for the city right now is really uplifting. And the last thing I want to do is bring up the fact that she's an Adidas athlete that wears number 5. And there's another Adidas athlete that wears number 5. So they need to make sure if Minnesota and Adidas don't market and capitalize on that, I'm going to be pissed off. So I'm just going to leave that there.
Maybe I need to fully lean into 3-Stripe Life and try to get an Adidas sponsorship for this pod at this point.
Hey,
yeah, if there's not, there has to be a Liv Ant-Man collab at some point. At least there needs to be like a commercial. Like,
I would take a commercial of them too. That would be hilarious.
Right. That would be must see TV for sure.
That would be. That
I
would
wonder
be.
what is I guess we could ask Liv this, but like how Ant says believe that, and that's
Yeah.
like Ant's Adidas catch line. Like, what would the Liv version of that
Catch
be?
line B. That
We yeah,
yeah.
what would a catch line be? Is there I based on the way she talks, Josh, I know there is a lot of things she says that can't be printed in,
Hey,
in that, but
she be
she
talking.
like you
She be
said, she's
talking, boy.
right. I love it. I also love because like yeah, she'll be out there and she'll bully other players a little bit, but my favorite moment in last night's game, because I just love shit like this.
Yeah.
She drives to the hoop. This is in the first half. Fellow rookie Awa Pham makes the right read and blocks her shot on not like it wasn't a devastating block or whatever, but she got
Correct.
her full hand on it. But it was more just like that was smart basketball defense by Pham, made the right play. Olivia just starts kind of chuckling and then high fives Awa Pham
Yeah.
afterwards, and it's just
Yeah.
like rookie to rookie respect.
Yeah.
And like I love seeing shit like that on the court.
Nah, for
So
sure.
she's got yeah.
That's a part of the game.
Mhm.
That's a part of the game. You gotta talk the trash, but you gotta talk the talk and then walk the walk. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody gets you, you just give them. That's like the equivalent of like Jordan and like when Kobe and them, they used to tap you on the butt after they made a shot on you. You know, it's
Right.
like good try, but I
Yeah.
respect you. You know,
Mhm. For
so
sure.
I love that gamesmanship. I love that.
Right. I don't know how I haven't tracked Adidas sneakers long enough to know how long their stuff is, but the live ones need to be on their way. If they're not on their way already,
If I'm about to say if they're not, they need to be getting it ready. I might have to reach out to some of my Adidas people, and see what's going on.
yeah, that's for sure. And remind them that I'm a
Yeah.
size 11, and I've mentioned Adidas
I
several
got
times
you.
on this podcast. If Adidas is looking to get into the podcast sponsorship game, hey, I'm never too busy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll definitely make a call for sure.
For sure. Travis, thank you again. Just real quick, where can the people find you on all the internets, and where can they support your work?
Yeah, man. Sneak Reporter on every single thing from X all the way to TikTok to Instagram. And then we got sneakerreporter.com. We're gonna be pumping out some more Lynx stuff later on this week. And then also just trying to gear up for what the Timberwolves are doing for the rest of free agency. But definitely gonna be at SummerSlam as well. WWE. So we're gonna be covering that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be, doing a lot of stuff, and the coolest thing about sneakerreporter.com is like, it's just more so just like me talking about things that I love, So it's like, it's I don't know, it's just a fun way to just be able to let people know my different sides of my personality, from music all the way to like wrestling, just being a wrestling geek, like stuff like that. Like people don't really see that on the regular, so it's like, you get everything in one. So if you like to follow wrestling geeks and nerds and somebody that just really likes talking about different things besides basketball and sneakers all the time, like definitely check out sneakerreporter.com for sure.
Yeah. If you're a wrestling geek, you do need to be following Travis and need to be following Andrew Dukowitz.
For sure.
You're welcome to follow me too. I don't know anything about wrestling, but for people
Terry
who enjoy that, follow me too. I was gonna try to go to SummerSlam as my first like ever real WWE experience, but
you should do it. Like, I mean, they just put out some cheap tickets. If you put Justin Jefferson's code in, I think it's like only $50 for two tickets.
All right, I'll see if I can make it work.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I would love to. I'd love to get my WWE baptism that way.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, follow Travis, man. For sure. Travis, thank you.
Thanks,
thank you
Terry.
Once
again. Yeah. Thank you, Terry, for having me on, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you once again to my guy, Travis Singleton, Sneaker Reporter, sneakerreporter.com. Give Travis a follow across channels. Hit him up about all things wrestling. And let him know what shoe size you are. I don't know if I can't guarantee he'll come through, but at some point, some way, sometime in the future, Travis knowing what size shoes you wear is good information. for him to have. And thank you, yourself, yes, you, dear listener, for rocking with the show for another episode. No idea what time you're listening to this. Maybe it's at midnight because you're a sicko like myself. Maybe it's 5:30 in the morning because you're a sicko morning person like my friend and colleague Mitchell Hansen. I don't know. I wish I had a little bit more insight about Fee's return, or impending probable return. Probable is the key word here. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, starting lineups have been released. Maybe the game's starting at 2 p.m. Central Time. I don't know. But thank you so much for listening to another episode of Lynx Happy Hour and for rocking with us all the way up until the All-Star break. I'll have something hitting these airwaves related to All-Star Weekend, but be sure to keep your eyes locked on the 9 and to that Hitting the Hardwood for all my All-Star Weekend content. And I know Andrew Dukowitz will be publishing some Missing Links shows as well, and we'll have stuff at the 9. A lot of us at the 9 are going to be there. So thank you so much for listening to another episode of Lynx Happy Hour. Have a great week, everybody. Peace.